And to me, that's not like an educational accommodation.
Yeah.
That's a like basic life skill.
Yeah, that's like a rich people accommodation.
Yeah. That's people who like charter planes for their children's emotional support peacock. That's what that is.
Well, I mean, then technically they are paying for their peacock if they do that.
Yeah, then they don't. What do they do? What's the metaphor here for this?
I don't know. They like, if they're chartering a plane for their children's emotional support peacock and they're literally paying for their peacock, I don't know where to go from here.
But they're like going overboard with the peacock. Yeah. Like their child might not need a peacock. Their child might need like a parakeet.
I don't think anyone actually needs a peacock.
I know, but you know what I mean. I'm talking metaphor here. Roll with the metaphor, Annika.
Sorry. Sorry.
Welcome to Knitting My Shit Together, a knitting and fiber arts podcast where neurodivergence and yarn collide. My name is Farrah. I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I use she, her pronouns. And you can find me on Instagram at TomboyFemBags and on Ravelry at Farrah Knits. And you can find us both on Instagram collectively at Knitting My Shit Together.
Hi, I'm Annika. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm in Moses Lake, Washington. And you can find me online on Instagram at T-Fueled Living and on Ravelry at Threadcatcher. That stupid inside joke. Like, I have to legitimately think about what my username on Instagram is.
Oh, your CIA agent just popped in for a minute. Your CIA agent just popped in for a minute.
Aw, hi CIA agent friend.
Didn't we decide their name is Bob?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah, if you're not aware of the inside joke, if you just started watching us, go back. You'll see. It's a story.
Yeah.
We'll just leave you with that cliffhanger to entice you to binge all of our previous episodes.
I think episode 15, all the way back there.
I think we're on I think this is episode 27.
Yeah, I think this is episode 27. I think I started on episode 15. I don't know. Go find the episode where I started. We talk about it there.
I can't believe we're on episode 27.
I know.
We'll have to do something special for episode 50, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, news. The Cover Your Ass Cal is happening. And we are going to do our first Cover Your Ass Cal giveaway. We didn't really pre-talk about this one.
Mm-mm.
About what it should look like. So we can work it out right now together. And if I decide it's too much, I'll edit this part out. And then we can just do the announcement. If I have to edit, I can edit, or we'll just not and work it out, and they all get to watch it. So,
okay.
What's happening?
Children are happening.
So
one of them said they were going to put on pants and then just ran by in a skirt and a short sleeve shirt, and it's 37 degrees outside, so.
Hashtag not pants.
Not pants.
So we're going to do a giveaway. I would like to do it on Instagram, but I'm not quite sure how to do it. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, it will involve the hashtag. I guess, do I make a post? Or I would
I'd say make a post on Instagram announcing the giveaway, and then be like, you don't have to have your ass covered at this point. We just will be picking from people who have used the hashtag. And
oh, I know what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a post announcing it. You don't have to have your ass covered. You could just have like an inch of your ankle covered at this point, but have cast on for the Cover Your Ass Cal and shared a picture of your progress on Instagram at some point from October. I mean, anybody who's done one of those posts from October 1st through to when we draw is eligible. And then if you post your progress using that hashtag, Annika and I are going to make a jar of names on pieces of paper because we do things high tech here at Knitting My Shit Together. So high tech. So we're going to do that. And then next episode, we'll do a drawing. And Annika, do you want to tell our contestants what they will win as a prize? You know.
I don't remember what we agreed on. So no, I don't.
Tea Time Fiber Arts.
What?
Tea Time Fiber Arts. The skein in the color.
Oh. This is why I'm not in charge of everything, peeps. So our friend Sarah, what?
This is why we split being in charge of things.
Yeah. This is also why I write like things that I need to remember down so I can find them later because I will forget.
I did that when I podcasted alone, and I really need to do that again. Oh well, go on.
My notebook's right here. I love it. I also have my handy dandy to-do list right here as well. Anyway, moving on back to what we're talking about. Our friend Sarah over at Fiber Arts has dyed a colorway specifically for Knitting My Shit Together, and it's yellow and gray and speckly goodness, and it's just like absolutely gorgeous. And like Farrah and I both love it, which I think says something. So yes, so we will be giving away a skein of that.
And we have to work out the details with Sarah, but in the future, Tea Time Fiber Arts will be selling a Knitting My Shit Together colorway that is inspired by our logo, and you will be able to get that from her in the future.
Yes. I personally want a sweater quantity of it.
Yeah, that might need to happen.
Yeah.
Or like enough to do a schlanket, I think.
Yeah, I want a sweater because I'd be more likely to wear that or use it than a schlanket.
I probably would too.
So, and then like when we go to like yarn things or fiber related things, I could wear it, and then it's like branding.
Yes,
what?
We could both wear our sweaters.
And then it'd be like branding.
It would be. Okay, it's a plan. We might have to knit the same sweater.
I'm okay with that.
Are you okay doing like just a seamless raglan, or are we going to do something?
I'm always down for a seamless raglan.
Okay. Anywho, so our giveaway is coming. You will see a post about it when I edit this and put this up tomorrow at some point. So yeah, that's the Cover Your Ass Cal. We're doing a giveaway. If you want to join the Cover Your Ass Cal, there is plenty of time because it started October 1st, but it runs through March 31st of 2020. So, and there will be people working. We're doing, the official pattern is the Nether Garments pattern from Elizabeth Zimmerman. And all the information about that and where you can find it is in our Ravelry group. The link to that is in the description box down below. And you don't have to do that pattern, but it is more like a recipe, and so it's size inclusive, and you can use any weight yarn for any box.
Like I'm using DK yarn. Farrah and several other people are using fingering weight yarn. If you look through the pattern like page itself, there's people who have done it in bulky and worsted, so like it literally is for everybody.
Yep. However, if you want to do a different pattern, you may. It's just anything that covers your ass. If you're just going to do panties, though, it would be awesome if you could do more than one pair. Because like there's going to be people knitting pants. So just so it's more equal in terms of knitting. But like a skirt would be acceptable if you live in a warmer weather climate, or shorts would work. Or, yeah. Hi, Maddie.
Go girl. To live a hard life.
So that's the Cover Your Ass Cal. Please join us. And if you see this and get inspired, we're going to do the drawing next episode. So you have from now until next episode to enter the drawing. And so you have time to quick grab a skein of yarn and cast on an ankle cuff for the Cover Your Ass Cal.
And if you need pattern support or yarn support or just math support, because the pattern that we're using is a recipe and does require a little bit of math, feel free to let Farrah or I know.
And so if that idea intimidates you, just let us know that we can let you know it's way less math than you would think.
Yeah, it's a lot of words on the page, and it makes it seem like you're going to be doing way more math than you actually have to do, which is really nice. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the Cover Your Ass Cal. Is there any other news or announcements you can think of, Annika?
We still have patches pre-orders going until January. Yep. There's a specific category on the Tomboy Femme Bags website for Knitting My Shit Together merch, and you can find them there. They're $8 a piece shipped, and we have one for our subscribers and just general posse of weirdo friends, and we have one for people participating in the Cover Your Ass Knit Along.
Yes. It's exciting. It's good times. I'm excited about the patches. And I'm excited to have I think maybe the next giveaway we'll have to do one of the patches.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. But that'll be next giveaway. Because we're going to do several throughout the course of the knit along. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. FOs.
Oh.
What FOs do you have?
So one FO is your teapot cozy prototype, which is currently en route to you in the mail.
Probably,
and I forgot
6 blocks from here, and my post office sitting in a box.
Just waiting. Just waiting. Yeah. But you'll have it Tuesday. So I forgot to snap a pic of it before.
7.
But that's okay. But
oh, and just so you all know, I'm not drinking alcohol while recording the show. I'm drinking. This is not a paid endorsement. This delicious kombucha by Brew Doctor that I'm just trying this new flavor that's new to me, chai apple kombucha, and it is freaking delicious. Though,
if Brew Doctor wants to sponsor us
to endorse it,
like
Brew Doctor,
I would. Please do Brew Doctor. I'd be so behind that. Their love and their happiness flavors are like my 2 favorite that I'll happily drink all year long. Yeah. I mean, I love most of their flavors, but I love those ones the best. Anyway, so my other FO this week is my it's inside out. Is my Ripple bralette by Jessie May Design. It's done. I finally did it, y'all. I did add a couple mods to it just because my body shape is changing so rapidly, and also because I can't do math. So thanks to Farrah, when I tried it on, it was weirdly loose.
It was so loose around the bottom band because I think your body had changed that much from when you cast on to when you finished it. Yeah. Which wasn't that long of a period of time, I might
add. No, but my body had changed so much that I folded the one by one over and made a casing and stuck elastic in it, and now it fits the way that it was supposed to, and it has a little bit extra support compared to just a normal 1x1 ribbing, so I'm really here for it. And then the other thing that I did was I wrapped the straps together let's see if I can get it to focus. Oop, here we go. I wrapped the straps together because I have really narrow shoulders and I made my straps too long. And so when I put on the ripple bralette the first time, the straps literally just went whoop. And I'm like, well, okay.
That's
and
not going to work.
Yeah, that was not going to work. And since I had already attached the straps to the back, I wasn't going to unpick those stitches just to cross them so they'd stay. So I just tied them together and it works great. And they stay up and it's really comfortable and I didn't have to unpick stitches. So like,
did you see my comment on your grid today? Somebody commented, the second person to comment, oh my God, that casing, what a good idea. And you said, I have tomboy, it was all tomboy femme bags.
Oh yeah, and you said that you're the MacGyver of ripple bralettes.
Yeah, I said basically, I'm the MacGyver of ripple bralettes.
Yeah, that was pretty great. But yeah, the yarn that I used was Deep Stash stuff that I found at the thrift store. It was Opal Diamond yarn in the colorway is 6524 and then also 6523. And yeah, I didn't end up using all of 2 skeins. And I also added 3.5 inches to the body of it. And yeah, and I still have most of my second skein left. So, and I did the 4X size to put that out there. So
I love it. I'm so happy that we figured out how to make it work for you.
Me too. It is so comfy and I love it. So
are you here for it?
I'm so here for it.
Any other FOs, Annika?
No, that's it.
Okay. I have no FOs because I am it's not even a whip hell. It's like a whip paradise. I have a million whips and haven't finished any of them, but I'm loving knitting on all of them. Like I love every single whip I'm knitting right now. And yeah, so that's that. Which
if anyone needed a good distinguishing marker between Farrah's personality and mine, that would be it right there. Too many whips stress me out, and then for me it is a whip hell instead of a whip paradise.
I like it because if I get tired of knitting on one thing, I just set it aside and pick up one of the other things. And so I'm always making progress on something I have cast on. I've sometimes literally been talking to people and had 2 projects in my lap. And I'll pick one up and knit on it for a while and then set it down and then pick the other one up and knit on it for a while. It works.
Nice.
So should we talk about whips?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I guess my first whip, my first whip is these bright neon socks, and I just
I'm loving that.
I just love how they're pooling.
Is
honestly,
that the Lisa Frank colorway?
I mean, it's not technically a Lisa Frank colorway, but if we're honest, it just is like the Lisa Frank colorway. Yeah. I'm knitting vanilla toe-up socks, Magic Loop Method, size 2 needles, and the yarn that I'm using is Manos del Uruguay Alegría in the Locura Fluo colorway, and it's just it really is just the Lisa Frank yarn of my 90s kid heart dreams, and I love it. So yes. Let's see, other whips. I think I'm actually sitting on them. That would explain a lot. Okay. Other whips that I have is I finished a leg of my nether garment.
Woo! That's so pretty.
So happy you can actually see all the colors that I went through. I'm using...
It's heathery, actually, now that I see it. Hold that up. Some of the... I'm pointing, you can see where I'm pointing. But from here, and it might be the light, towards your thigh, those top 2 colors look kind of heathery. Or is it just the light, maybe?
I think it's just the light, because, if you stick them closer, they're kind of tonal, but not really...
Yeah, that's what maybe it's the tonality of them.
Yeah, they're tonal, but they're not really heathery tonal.
Okay.
I don't know. But I'm using Lion Brand Woolies cakes in the Poseidon colorway, and I have a full flake done, and and I'm knitting them on US 4s, and I love them, and I'm really sad because I can't work on them after I get all my holiday knitting done, and I still have 3 sweaters complete. I mean, they're only sweaters, so it shouldn't take too long, I hope. But I need to get those done before I can get back to like a bigger knitting project. Speaking of holiday sweaters, I got the back of Linnea's holiday sweater done, and I forgot what pattern I'm using for this. Hold on.
Yeah, because it's different than the one used for Tobin, because his was knit in the round.
Yeah, his is a raglan sweater, and hers is a cardigan. Okay. Oh, this is the Ellen. This is the Ellen cardigan by Ella Ray. Okay. And it's a free pattern, which is pretty cool. But also, too, just so people know, it's knit in worsted weight yarn, and their measurements for how much yarn the pattern is supposed to take, I think someone entered them in wrong, because it said that the largest kid size, which is a 12 youth, which is what I'm knitting for Linnea, could take up to 2,200 yards, which is more than what it takes to knit myself a sweater, and I've been knitting like 4X, 5X sizes. So I think someone put in the wrong numbers when they were entering in the yarn needs. But it's the Ellen cardigan, and I am using Karen Big Cakes, which is 100% acrylic, and the color that I'm using is called Cherry Cake. And
it's cute.
It's a very...
But Linnea's like into the pinks and things.
Yeah, and the pastels, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this, but that's okay. My last whip this week is called The City of Jasmine Cowl, and it's by Corinne of Hawari Bazaar Co., who one is like one of my most favorite dyers ever, because she dyes all the BTS inspired yarns that I talk about like pretty much every week. Is she your like dying
soulmate maybe?
What?
Is she your dying soulmate maybe?
I mean, I would think Corinne is probably my dyer soulmate, yeah, for sure. Because, like, with one of her newest colorways, which is called Usagi, and is beautiful, she said that she thought of me when she was adding the rainbow speckles to the bright yellow neon yarn. And so, like, I'm pretty sure she's my dyer soulmate, for sure. Anyway, she's also an amazing designer, and like designs these really fun colorwork patterns. Like she has socks and other patterns too. But I'm currently testing her City of Jasmine Cowl, and like,
is that her yarn?
No, this is my yarn.
Okay.
I would love to knit it in her yarn, but I can't currently afford to knit.
But that's really beautiful. I mean, I'm liking that pattern.
Yeah, the pattern is super fun, and it goes really quickly, thankfully. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, the using is all 100% acrylic and all 100% stash stuff. And yeah, I know like the gray and the white are impeccable, and the green is Red Heart Super Saver, and the yellow is a thrift store score of yarn that we won't name here. So, yeah. But when the pattern releases in December, go and get it, because this is so much fun to knit, and I'm really enjoying it. And yeah.
So. Cool. Hold on, I'm having a yarn debacle. Okay. Any more whips, Annika?
No, that's it for my whips, okay. Thankfully. That was a lot.
So, let's see. My first whip is this striped vanilla sock, just using my sock recipe. This yarn is the Rocky Horror Picture Show Surprise colorway for October by Valkyrie Fibers. And I also got this mini with it that I'm currently untangling. And I'm going to use this mini for the cuff and the heel. And I really like it. It's fun. These are fun stripes. I'll do fun stripes because it's on my feet.
I love seeing you knit with something so bright compared to like everything else I see you knit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll wear fun, bright things on my feet, but not outside my feet. And I'll do brighter colors for like accessories sometimes, for shawls occasionally, or a scarf, but not a lot. Mostly my feet. I
don't think I've ever seen you do anything bright for accessories, like brighter than a mustard yellow.
What about my tassels in Amsterdam shawl? Which I do wear.
I can't picture which one that is.
It's the blue. It's by Wool & Boone is the fiber. It's like when I first started recording the podcast, and it's blues and whites with the red speckles here and there that you can't really see, and black speckles. And then I put the yellow tassels on it.
I like honestly can't picture it.
Okay, well.
I believe you.
Go look it up and be impressed, because it's colors. I think that's like as bright of colors I would go, though. I mean, it's definitely not Annika level bright colors, but it's what I would wear, not on my feet. I would knit crazy colored underwear, because that wouldn't be seen.
I don't know. The whole idea of just knitting underwear, like, I know this is kind of weird to say since we're knitting long underwear, I just don't know that I would ever knit normal underwear. I don't know.
But I have an idea. Take the nether garment pattern and do like the boy short underwear.
Well, I'm planning on making like boy shorts like longer than hot pants when we finish the nether garments out of the rainbow and gray stripe.
Because to me, like the hot pants will be like an inch or two longer, like under your, like, you know, the crease where your butt crack goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hot pants will be like an inch or two under that.
Yeah, my thighs are too thick and touch too much for that, so mine will be longer.
I know, but I'm saying when I do my hot pants, it's going to be like an inch or two under that. But yeah. I think boy short underwear will go like where the butt crack crease is.
See, that's not what I think of when I think of boy shorts, though. Like, when I think of boy short underwear, like, I think of them in between, like, typical underwear length and, like, boxer brief length.
I don't know. I'm going to try making a pair. After the hot pants, I'm going to try making a pair of underwear.
Sweet.
Yeah. And see what happens. Okay, so that's it. I mean, we got on all that tangent for my striped socks. Can I finish these 3 stitches?
Yes. And then before you show us the rest of your whips.
Yeah. Okay. The next whip I'll talk about is my ripple bralette. I have made really good progress on it. I finished the 1x1 twisted rib. This is the 3x3 ribbing. This is one of my stitch markers from Tomboy Femme bags, or Progress Keepers. And I am going to, past this marker, I'm knitting like 3 inches before I divide for the cups. So I have like 2.5 inches maybe left to go. And then I'm going to try it on again and then divide for the cups. It fit good this way around. It just wasn't tall enough because I'm just long through here is the thing. So
same. That was my issue too.
It felt a little weird. And because I'm not binge eating anymore, I'm losing weight. And my body's going to come back to its natural point, which is not here, and my boobs will shrink. And so it'll be interesting. That's why I'm not doing my framework bralette yet, because I don't want to do that until my body settles into its I'm not binge eating weight. And so I did the ripple bralette because it's so much stretchier. Like, I think this is the size I would knit for myself, maybe a size down. But most likely this is the size that would work too, even at that point. We'll see. I guess we'll find out. Okay. Oh, and this is, I want to talk about the yarn. This is knit using serendipitous wool. The base I'm using for this is the Atma base, which is 100% superwash merino. And in the wrought iron colorway, and I freaking love this yarn. I am definitely getting more serendipitous wool. I want to try this base again and more of Shoba's bases, and it's lovely. And I love it. Yeah. Okay. So that's my ripple bralette. I have 2 other whips to show. This is my nether garments, so let's talk about this. I, too, remember the peanut butter and jelly sandwich stitch marker from Sucre Miniatures. This is where I was last week at the podcast. So I finished all of this up, and this is like upper thigh girth, so it's more stitches. And then I cast on the second leg, and I did the cuff, and I am almost to where I think I'm a couple inches away from starting my calf increases. So I'm going to move. This is a peanut or chocolate chip cookie progress keeper from Crafticorn, or Landon, of a trans guy who likes to knit. And so, yeah, they have been fun, and I'm really excited that I'm on the second leg. And I think once, I'm working on them consistently. I just have a lot of things on the needles. So that's how it goes. But yeah, progress is being made. And that yarn, by the way, is yarn that Spun Noma Didico dyed for me. It's a one-of-a-kind colorway called Farrah's Grello, and I heart it. And it's funny because Sultan, Spun Noma Didico, is also knitting his nether garments using fingering weight yarn. But he was using way less yarn than me. Like, he finished the first skein, and we're using the same type of yarn. He finished his first skein before his first thigh, and he's taller than me. I mean, not by much, but he is. And so I was like, why is this happening? Why am I using more? And then I realized it's because I am knitting mine on size 1s, and he's using 3s. So that's why. So, moving on. I think I worked a little bit on my, we'll see, by my, yeah, not much. Yeah, I maybe knit this is where I was at the last episode, and I maybe knit 3 rows on my seamless raglan pullover, and that's because the 4s I was using for this are on my ripple bralette. So once I finish my ripple bralette, I will move those needle tips back to my seamless pullover and get going on that again. Then, finally, what's funny is I've thought about casting on another pair of socks lately. Like, if I just had an extra pair of US ones, I could cast on more socks. And I'm like, get a hold of yourself, Farrah. Okay.
You need to finish a pair of socks so we can all cast on our Harmony Rainbow socks together.
I know, but I also have to knit Matthew socks. I want to. So I will cast on my Harmony Rainbow for me, and then I'll also cast on socks for Matthew. Because once I get my nether garments on one needle, both parts, I'll free up another US size one.
Yeah.
I have 3 US size ones. I just don't feel like buying another one because that feels ridiculous.
I just got my first pair of US ones. I'm really excited.
They're fun. Although I do have... Or did I get rid of it? I got rid of it. Never mind. I had a pair of... Maybe I still do. Oh, I do. I do have a pair of ones. Of the Chigu ones. I could cast Matthews on that and then use the... When I'm done with these,
Yeah.
I could try the Chigus. I don't know if I'll like them because I don't know if I want to use metal needles. I really like the wood ones. I don't know.
Well, if you decide that you like the wood ones, I'll happily trade you the Lucas that I have for.
Do you have Lucas size ones?
Yeah, I have Lucas size ones.
Well, let's trade.
Okay.
That's easy. That's like a no-brainer. Let's trade. Okay. Because we both have needles that are just sitting here that we're not using. And if we just trade. Okay. Anyway. This lovely deliciousness is my Lion-Hearted Swan Show by Tiff Nealon Knits. Tiff Nealon Hand Knits, I think. Yeah. This is the neck line. See, it's a top-down swan show, which is basically a yoke sweater, but you attach the sleeves at a lower point. So it's basically like a color work yoke sweater with the sleeves attached further down, giving it, like if a poncho and a sweater had a baby, it would be this, and it would be a swan show. So I'm to the color work section. I started that. And I freaking love it. And it's beautiful. So it starts with herringbone, which I fell in love with. And this, I've always loved the look of herringbone. I've just never knit it. But this is going to be the new way. Whenever I knit myself a sweater, I do my sleeves and bottom hems and neckline cuffs. Because I like how, first off, it will curl a little bit, which I like. But then you have this pretty herringbone. And look at that, people.
So pretty.
So I am using all Forest Fiber Arts yarn for this. So Forest Fiber Arts is my dyer soulmate. I'm pretty sure. And I'm using, this sweater takes 3 colors. I am using my main color, the main background color here is called Knight in Rusty Armor. And it's all kinds of deliciousness. And then for the solid or semi-solid, this is a charcoal that Nikki dyed up for me. And then the other color, contrast color, which you can see in the color work, like the white flecks and stuff, is called Winter Birch. Like, oh, look at these. I love them. So yeah, that is my swan show, and I really like it, and it's been fun doing the colorway for my first time, and I think my floats are going well. I mean, I've knit color work before, but just small scale, and this is my first time doing it continental, or I'm doing both handed. I've never done that.
Ooh.
And it's going well. I will say, I was going to hold both yarns in my right hand, and I tried it, and it was just taking so much time, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try. Kat, our friend Saculus Reparo, we were all knitting, and she was like, just try holding the dominant color in your left hand. And so I tried it, and it totally worked. I'm like, so now I can do it this way. And I'm like, why have I not? What the H? Okay, so it's going really well. Now, here's a way we are different. Another way. You know how you've said we're very different because having this many whips would stress you out? Having this many ends hanging stresses me out because I was looking when you held up your cowl, I was seeing all these ends dangling.
Oh, they're not dangling, it's the floats.
No, I was seeing from the bottom where you attached. Yeah, that stresses me out.
Oh, no, that's because I'm still using those colors and I'm still using them. I haven't woven them in yet.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. Even knitting with this much stresses me out. So before I knit any more on this, I'm going to weave in these ends. Because I need to weave in my ends as I go, or it just, I just can't even cope.
I'm like that too, though.
Are you? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like with my Trelawney shawl, you end up with so many ends, and I have woven in my ends as I've gone because I just can't stand. It's driving me nuts. Because I just can't stand. It's bothering me, so.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it? I think that's all my whips. I think it is.
Sweet.
I thought about casting on a hat today and another sock. But now I'm not going to do the sock so that we can exchange needles, which means I'll get a box out to you this week, Annika.
Okay. And I'll get the needles out to you this week, too.
Okay. Yay. Okay. I have a question. If I send you a box
Mm-hmm.
and I put a birthday gift in it for you that I wrap separately in the box.
I'll just stick it in my closet and it can wait.
Okay. All
That's
right.
fine.
Okay. I mean, but I think I'm going to wait because I think I want to send you a whole birthday box.
Okay.
So, yeah, this will be a different non-birthday box. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving on. Mental health moment next.
Mental health moment.
Mental health moment. Today we are going to talk about you've sat with your emotions. Now what? And Annika, this was Annika's idea, and I appreciate it because I think it's a really valid thing to talk about. Like, part of DBT therapy, for example, is learning how to sit with unwanted emotions. But the key is you want to sit with them so you can experience them, because if you don't allow yourself to experience them, you suppress, and then they get bigger and worse and horrible. But you want to allow yourself to feel them and sit in them, but that's different than dwelling in them and stewing in them. It's like a whole different thing.
The whole point of sitting with your emotions is recognizing and being able to identify the emotions that you're feeling and where in your body you're feeling them and how you're feeling them, and like not judge them, not place any judgment on them, not necessarily do anything with them, but just recognize them and be there. And then with dwelling and sitting in those emotions is just letting it consume you and attaching judgments to those feelings.
I think there's a fair amount of rumination involved in dwelling in them and stewing in them. Like for me anyway, it always usually involves a lot of rumination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, Annika, what do you do? We can each share what we do.
For me, my best.
Do you want to do the disclaimer?
Oh, disclaimer, we're not therapists. We're not licensed therapists. We are not giving specific mental health advice. We are not saying you need to do this. We are not saying you should do this instead of listening to your doctor. We're just sharing our experiences and what works well for us. Yes. So for me, the things that work best for me are connected. And the first one that works best for me is to not isolate myself and to get around other people, whether that be online or like actually going out into the world and interacting, which sometimes is just too much. And the other part that goes with it is using a skill that I learned in DBT called the distract skill. And the whole point of the distract skill is to like literally distract yourself until the wave of emotion or feeling ebbs until into something manageable and that you can deal with. And that level changes for everybody and depending on the circumstances. And for me, like my favorite distract skills or things to do to distract myself are things that make my brain or that engage my brain, but don't take a lot of effort to engage my brain. So watching something with subtitles, going on YouTube and like watching videos about new topics for me, or something that I'm interested in work really well for me. Other things that work for me are setting a timer for like 5-10 minutes and then turning on like loud dance music that I just can't help but move to when I hear it and dancing until my timer goes off. And those are my favorite distract skills.
Do you use any other skills?
Well, I mean, I use a whole bunch of skills.
skills all the time, but I'm saying specifically when you want to move on from an unwanted emotion. after you've allowed yourself to feel it?
I mean, I'll also, during this, I'll use the observe skill, which is where you notice and like you literally just pay attention to the thoughts coming into your head, and you don't place judgment on them. You don't do anything with them. You just see them. You just like notice them come, and you just watch them go. And my favorite DBT skill, or my favorite DBT method of doing that, that I learned in DBT classes, was you see those thoughts come in as a leaf, and then you just watch them sink into the bottom of some body of water, and that's my favorite. So, yeah.
I use the distract skill as well, but I, too, like you, there are things I know do not work for distract. Like knitting does not work for distract, because knitting doesn't require enough engagement with my brain to pull me out of the emotion.
Yeah.
Neither does sewing. Doesn't either. So what does for me is spinning on my wheel, because it's a new thing. So I have to learn something new or be doing something that's really engaging my brain, like you said. Like researching something.
I wonder if spinning on your wheel also works better than, say, sewing or knitting too, because you're having to use your feet and your hands and your eyes at the same time. And so it's engaging several different modalities all at the same time.
That could be.
So.
Huh. Also, so I use distract. I also, one thing I do when I'm in the moment to feel the emotion, especially sadness, is so one thing DBT teaches us is that our emotions are indicators that we need something. And so one thing that sadness can teach us is sadness is usually associated with loss or grief. And it doesn't even have to be death of a person. It can be like the loss of an idea or a hope. It can be a lot of things. And so one thing I do is get comfort. Because I'm really good at suppressing emotions and not letting myself cry. Sometimes I'll grab my partner and just say, I just need you to sit here with me. I don't need you to say anything. Just please don't say anything. I just need you to sit here with me while I cry. And then I just do. And then I feel okay. And then I'm like, okay. And then I get up from that and then usually go do the distract. I've used the dancing in my underwear before, which is fun.
Just a disclaimer, you don't have to dance actually in your underwear.
But it's really fun if
whatever you want.
If you do dance in your underwear, it's really fun. Where I have a playlist of Taylor Swift is on it. A couple strange people are. But then I also have Lizzo on it. I have other stuff, and I'll just dance in my underwear for a little bit.
To be honest, I can't listen to Taylor Swift without thinking about potty training my children. So
the only song I really listen to of hers is that Shake It Off.
Yeah, that was the one that my kids decided they wanted as their reward while potty training. So I just can't listen to that song without thinking about potty training, and it makes me feel stressed.
That is a catchy tune. Anyway, what else? Walks can help me sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But this is how they help me. They have to be engaging. I can't just go on a regular walk, because then I'll just keep all the things in my head. I just got to notice that my battery's dying because my MacBook came unplugged. Hold on. There, now it's plugged in. Okay, we are safe.
I didn't realize your sweater was tweedy. That's really cool.
I know. This is a thrift store sweater I got years ago, and I wear the crap out of it. I noticed a first hole the other day, so I'm going to have to repair that and mend it because I am not getting rid of this sweater. Anyway, yeah, this sweater, I don't care if I have 8,000 patches in it. Like, never getting rid of it. So, oh, shnikers, I pulled out my needle. Anyway, I do mindfulness walks when I need to. So what I do is I have the app Headspace, and it's a meditation and mindfulness app. And mindfulness has been like core to me, and it's core to DBT, but it's been, I think when I first began DBT, I wrote off that chapter because if you look at the names of the sections of DBT, it's like interpersonal relationships, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and it's like
and mindfulness.
And you're like, I need all of this, and then you see in mindfulness, and you're like, whatever. Like I know about and I thought I knew about mindfulness, but I didn't know about mindfulness at all. And so what I will do is do a mindfulness walk. So Headspace has walks where they walk you through a guided meditation as you walk.
Ooh.
And they're amazing, and it really helps me because usually when I'm usually really in my head when I'm not in a good spot. And so I usually like to somehow drop back into my body, and mindfulness walks do it for me. And so I'll usually put one of those in my earphones and go on a walk outside. And it can even be 5 minutes, and it totally helps. But I'll do like a 5 or 10 minute mindfulness walk. And that helps too. Sometimes I think too, just sleeping. Like if it's at night, because a lot of times I'll experience negative emotions or unwanted emotions more at night. And sometimes I've just said to myself, okay, you know what? You've allowed yourself to feel this. Like nothing good can happen from here on out for the night. You just need to go to bed. And then I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen too.
Where it's like the best thing for you to do right now is to go to sleep.
It's like, Annika, you might be crying because you're tired, not because you're actually not because the emotion you're feeling makes that much sense to be feeling it this much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
other thing that I'd like, or I think we should talk about too, is
check the facts.
I was thinking doing tips.
Oh yeah, I love tips.
Sometimes, doing your normal skills won't be enough to get your head out of that rumination, stuck in that emotion headspace.
Well, what DBT teaches us is in our process of becoming mindful and aware of our emotions, DBT has you rank your emotions, give them a number value. Some people use 1 through 5, some people use 0 to 100. I use 1 through 10. It's just whatever works for you. And DBT teaches that in the range of between 7-ish and 10, 8 to 10, 8, 9, 10, they rank that as your skills breakdown point. And what that means is you're at a place where you are so triggered that your brain is in fight, flight, or freeze. And the problem with being in fight, flight, or freeze is your rational brain, logical brain is turned off, and you literally cannot use the other skills. So distress tolerance skills that we learn, TIP, like Annika mentioned, is when you're in that place, you do one of those, and it doesn't bring you from an 8 to a 1. It will bring you from 8 to maybe 6 or 7 and get you below your skills breakdown point so that then you can use the other skills to regulate and be effective, basically. Yes. So TIP it's everything in DBT is a freaking acronym, and it stands for temperature,
intense exercise.
Did you see that?
Oh my god.
Intense exercise, paced breathing, and physical,
what's the last P? Oh, man.
I don't know.
I used the paced breathing and I used the intense exercise. Since I have temperature regulation issues with my body, I can't do the temperature one without like putting my body into more distress.
Can I describe the temperature regulation one? Because I use it all the time,
Yeah.
and I researched it, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the temperature or the temperature one, and I'll talk about intense exercise, that works.
Okay, because I use paced breathing, but my most effective is the temperature. So, turns out, get this. This is like a thing that I nerd out about. Okay, this was a hyper focus for me. All mammals have this thing in our brains called the mammalian dive response. How cool is that? Which is when you go under, when your brain thinks you are going under cold water, it's like, holy shit, I have to keep you alive. And so it takes blood out of your brain and into your extremities, thus allowing fresh blood to kind of go back, I believe is how it works. I'm not a doctor. Like, I might be wrong about that, exactly the biomechanics of it, but that's the gist of what I understand. Every mammal has this. And when you do it, that kind of acts as like a reset almost for your brain, just to kind of like shock it a little bit, some of the more intense emotions. So what you do is, when I'm in that place where I'm at my skills breakdown point, my partner Matthew is actually really good at preparing this for me. He does it way better than I did. And what we do is we have this large stew pot, like a ceramic stew pot, and it's like big around, and he fills it with cold water. And then he's usually doing that. I'll sometimes do it if he's not home, but he does that while I'm like sobbing, and then puts tons of ice cubes in it. And then what I do, it's amazing, is you take a big breath. So like I literally go like I would dive into a pool. So I go, and then put my face in it. But you only have to go in, like I don't even submerge my ears up to here. And the goal is to hold your breath under the water for 15 to 30 seconds to really trick your brain into thinking you're diving. And I do that, and it completely freaking works. Like I come up and I'm like, okay, I'm not like everything's better, but I'm like, I can use other skills now. Like I'm back in my rationaler brain. Not totally rational, but more rational than before I did that.
When I was in one-on-one DBT,
you can use ice packs.
It wasn't conducive to have like giant bowls of ice or ice water in the therapy rooms. And so my therapists froze washcloths, and like we each had our own and stuck them in the freezer, and then we would just hold our breath and have the frozen washcloth on our face, and it does the same thing. So if you don't have access to a giant vat of ice water, or ice is not accessible, the frozen washcloth works just as well.
Other things that work are snow. One time I was riding my bike with my friend Andre. Poor Andre. He hung out with me a lot, and he's still here for me. He's not like bailed on me or anything, but I just needed a little space. But he would hang out with me a lot right after I got out of the hospital. This poor man. I don't know. I think we all thought, okay, I'm in the hospital. I'd never done this before. Like, now everything's going to be okay. Spoiler alert. Not how it works. Instead, I would go out with Andre, probably really pushing myself more than I should have, because I was trying to prove to myself that I was okay now. And instead, I would end up like sobbing out in public with Andre on my fucking bicycle. And one time I just pulled over on this bike bridge, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I just grabbed a whole bunch of snow and I just like put my face in all
that
this
works,
snow,
though.
and it worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, intense activity.
Okay, so intense exercise is not like go run a freaking marathon or go run 10 miles. Intense exercise is you are supposed to go as hard as you can and do something that is, like, I want to say kind of cardio heavy, but more that it's just making your muscles move. So it's making the blood flow pretty much from your brain to your other extremities, the same way that I guess the mammalian diving response does. And so, like, things that, or activities that my therapist suggests were squats, which I hated her for at the time, but like,
Yeah, that's
to be honest, I have a fantastic booty now. And you could also do stair sprints. So go up and down the stairs as many times as you can in like a minute. And for me, like, I do squats as many as I can in a minute. It works pretty well. Other things that you can do are like just normal flat sprints as fast as you can, back and forth for a minute. Yeah, and that's the one that works best for me. Just because, like, if I do the temperature one, my body turns purple, and then it just messes with like pain management for me, and that's just like not worth it. And then will also create more mental health issues for me. So, the intense exercise is short and doesn't generally create more pain issues for me, which I really like. So
there you have it, people. That's what we do to get to the place to feel our emotions, and then after we feel them.
yes.
Hold on. I like totally effed something up here, which is not super easy to do with a nose. I just dropped a stitch and I think I need to ladder down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. I'm going to just put this on this needle and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. Focus. Okay. So yeah, that's it for our mental health moment. Anything else you can think of, Annika, or no?
Oh, we should talk about pace breathing for the people who temperature and intense exercise is not accessible.
Pace breathing is like it sounds, but you want to make your exhale longer than your inhale. And another option that I do, that you don't have to do, is you can retain your breath. So when I do pace breathing, I do breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6.
Oh, that's interesting. I do breathe in for 4, hold for 5, breathe out for 6. But the longer exhales is what like tricks your brain into thinking that it's relaxed and more, or at least more relaxed, and will help your brain release those hormones saying that it's relaxed, which also helps bring your numbers down.
Yeah, and so that's the key, is to make the exhale longer, which you wouldn't, it sounds counterintuitive. People think, oh, take big breath in, but think, when you're in a heightened emotional state, your breath is all up here, and it's usually rapid inhales. And so what you want to do is slow that down, and the way to do that is by increasing your exhale.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pace breathing. Yeah. I can't think of anything else now. Can you?
Nope.
Okay. So, this week we will be doing our lives as usual on Wednesday and Friday. On Wednesdays, we talk about the What's Hot Now on Ravelry. And on Fridays, we go over any acquisitions we had for the week. We will be doing Stitch Group on Saturday. So we would love to have you join us for that. And that is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time now, which is UTC minus 5.
Yeah.
And join us wherever you are in the world if you're able. What else? If you like this, you can like and subscribe to our channel. And if you really like this, you can support us through Patreon. You can become a patron and give anywhere from $1 to $1 million a month to support our podcast. And there are different benefits that are ranked at different levels, and you get extra content too, like outtakes, extra things. Yeah, we have Patreon only giveaways. For the pay for your Peacock people, I have to quick do up the charms. I have everything to mail them. I just have to quick do up the charms and get those mailed out this week. It's on the to-do list for the week. So I think that's it, right?
Cool. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you everybody for joining us. And we will see you next week.